very windy day at Giant Stadium in the New Jersey Meadowlands. The forecast, the temperature will drop to the mid-30s with a chance of snow flurries later on. The Giants, despite suffering through a 7-game losing streak, have won 3 in a row, and with a record of 6-7, still alive among 8 teams vying for a playoff berth. San Francisco and Dallas are already in. Last Sunday in Cleveland, it was Dave Brown hooking up with Chris Callaway, leading to the game-winning field goal and an impressive Giant victory over the Browns. While Jeff Blake and his Bengals could not solve the Steelers' defensive scheme, and they were beaten by Pittsburgh to fall to a record of 2-11. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Paul Maguire. Well, since Dave Brown returned to the starting lineup after that 1-game benching, the Giants won 3 straight, all on the road. And you get the idea, Paul, that teammates have been very impressed with the poise of Dave Brown, particularly the last 3 games.
They really do. They like the way he's playing. We asked Dave Brown the other day, did it help sitting out 1 game? He said, no. He said, are you crazy? How am I going to learn and get better if I don't play? And look what he has done the last 3 games. He is on fire.
And from the Cincinnati point of view, Jeff Blake makes his 7th straight start. Remember, he was a 3rd-string quarterback for the New York Jets, so he's making his return here to the New Jersey Meadowlands, and he has found the chemistry with the 50-catch wide receiver Carl Pickens, and that a major concern of the Giants.
It is a major concern, but one of the things, too, the reason that happens is because the Cincinnati Bengals really don't have much of a running game. Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens, 2 outstanding receivers, and Blake's going to have to get the ball to them today in order for them to win. Marv?
The Giants won the toss, and they will receive. David Meggett, Arthur Marshall back, awaiting the kick from that man, Lee Johnson. And this is Marshall, the 3rd-year man from the University of Georgia, spinning his way across the 20-yard line. A 19-yard return by Marshall. A look at the Giant offensive line. Both Jumbo Elliott and William Roberts will play later on, but they're out because of back spasms. So 2nd-year men Greg Bishop and Scott Davis are the starters, along with Brian Williams, Lance Smith, and Doug Riesenberg. Dave Brown is the quarterback. Rodney Hampton, although banged up pretty good, starting along with Kenyon Rashid. The receivers, Sherrard, Callaway, and Cross. Aaron Pierce comes in as the tight end, or the H-back, as Dan Reeves likes to label it in his nomenclature. From the 21-yard line, Rodney Hampton gets the call, and the left defensive tackle, Keith Rucker, in on the stop. The Cincinnati offensive line, defensive line, John Copeland, who missed the last 4 games with a sprained ankle, making his return. That is Big Daddy, the #1 pick in the draft, Dan Wilkinson, at right tackle, and he has had his ups and downs. The linebackers, Francis Tovar and McDonald. The left corner, the former Jet Grimm. Jones on the other side, Vincent and Williams completed the secondary. Brown with the handoff for Hampton. And a short pickup. Fernandez Vincent, the strong safety, the man who took over for the injured Lewis Oliver, made the stop, and a 3rd down and 7 coming up at the 24-yard line.
You know, talking to Dave Brown the other day, he said, one of the things that really bothers him, that they run the ball on 1st and 2nd down, and then they ask him to pick it up on 3rd and long, which really puts a quarterback, a young quarterback, in a terrible position.
And has a 3rd down and 7 right here. Sherrard splits wide to the left side. And again to the ground. This time Meggett is stopped at the 25. Stopped by Copeland, and immediately the crowd reacts to the play calling.
Well, it looked like a series of downs where Coach Dan Reeves, calling the plays, said, hey, let's see what kind of defenses are playing against the run. Let's not throw the ball. That was terrible.
So Mike Horan, man who took over last year, replacing longtime Giant punter Sean Landeta, will punt to a combination of Corey Sawyer, rookie from Florida State, and Carl Pickens, the 3rd-year man from Tennessee.
Dying right here.
And this is Sawyer, and he's immediately hit at the 43-yard line. Willie Beeman on the stop. A 34-yard punt and only a 3-yard return. Cincinnati's offensive line, Sargent, former Jet Cadigan, Derek Brills at center, moved from guard to center when Joe Walter went down. Moyer at the right guard spot, and Kozerski at right tackle. Jeff Blake, who took over when David Klingler hurt his knee, and the Bengals have responded to Blake. Broussard and the rookie from Ohio State, Jeff Cothran, are the running backs. Pickens, Scott, and McGee, the receivers. And another former Jet, Troy Sadowski, comes on as the extra tight end. Penalty markers are thrown. The referee is Dale Hamer.
And Dave Cadigan moved number 68.
Prior to the snap, number 68 of the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
A look at the defensive line. Hamilton, Fox, Howard, and Strahan up front. And Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, said he'll be switching once again quite a bit between the 4-3 and the 3-4. Brooks, Bailey, Miller, the linebackers, Sparks, Randolph, Williams, Booty in the secondary. A look at the Giants in the nickel. Booty starting for Jesse Campbell at free safety, who has a throat infection. That's Steve Broussard in his 5th year out of Washington State, stopped by the left defensive end, Keith Hamilton. As you look at the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, David Shula, the youngest head coach in the NFL, 3rd year as head man of the Bengals. And he just saw Steve Broussard lose a couple, so it will be a 2nd down and 12 from the 41. You get the idea, Paul, that this crowd is on the low-key side at this point?
You know, feeling this game can last about a half an hour. Just running the ball.
And it's Broussard to the outside. And run out of bounds. Run out by the right corner, Thomas Randolph.
Actually, the play before Broussard picked up, they had a penalty on first down. He picked up 3 yards, and on this play, we talked about at the beginning, Marv, no running game. This team, they're not running the ball very well. They have to throw, and it's only a matter of time. And now it's time for Mr. Jeff Blake to throw the football.
Cincinnati Bengal fans took to Jeff Blake as a savior after he came close to pulling off the upset of Dallas, then led Cincinnati to wins over Seattle and Houston. It's a 3rd and 10 from the 43. And Blake, let's see, did he get it in there to Broussard? Jesse Armstead going for the ball, and it was picked off. It was intercepted.
Now they're bringing it back because there's actually no movement at all. And Armstead thought he had the ball, but the official is there. You have to have control of the ball. Here comes Armstead inside. Broussard is the man that's on the ground. The ball goes down. The ball's hit. It's not on the ground, but the ball is on the ground. It was never caught.
For an instant, it appeared that Armstead had picked it off. But Lee Johnson back to punt on this 4th down and 10. And the return by Marshall. And he's hit down back at the 15-yard line. A 42-yard punt, and the Giants back to the offense. Despite the record of 6-7, as we touched on earlier, still very much alive, although it will be difficult with all the tiebreakers not on their side to make the playoffs, but they're still in it. And at a news conference earlier this week, Dan Reeves was asked about their playoff chances. Check this out.
How do you view your playoff possibilities right now? Do you look at them seriously? They're back there somewhere on a sheet of paper.
I thought you were talking to somebody. I didn't know who you talking to.
Little physical humor. That's the P word. They don't like to deal with the playoffs at this point. A screen pass for Rodney Hampton. And Hampton gets to the first down marker, hit down by the middle linebacker, Steve Tovar. He went for 11, and it is a first down.
Well, this is set up beautifully, though. Brown back into the pocket, and the ball is tipped just a tad before Hampton gets it, and then he gets to the outside, picks up the first down. You know, this wind in this stadium is the most unusual place I've ever been. On the top of the stadium, the wind blows from left to right, the same way the Giants go. But at the bottom of the stadium, on the floor, the wind goes from right to left, and that may be one of the reasons why they're not throwing the ball that much.
Giants first down at the 27-yard line. Play action. Brown looked to his right, and then found Hampton open. Gets to the 35, met by Tovar.
This is the poise that you were talking about, Marv, with Dave Brown. Now, before he would have thrown the ball to the primary target. On this play, all he did was just sit back there and wait and wait and wait, and then found the dump-off man. They pick up 7 yards. Watch the poise of this young man now. Out here he looks again, he looks in the middle, he steps up. There's Hampton. They pick up 8 yards. Nice play.
Back to the ground. Hampton finding the hole and rips forward for a first down, and a penalty marker is thrown. The free safety, Darrell Williams, tripping up Rodney Hampton. The hole, though, is against the Giants.
You know, when you look at guys.
Holding. Number 59 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat second down.
What did he say? 59? Is that what he called? I mean, obviously his microphone breaking up. Mine wasn't.
And it sets it back to a second down and 12. Back at the 25-yard line. 5 minutes gone by in this opening quarter.
Well, that tells it all. The offense of the Giants and a chance at the playoffs. They're the worst team on offense in the National Football League and still have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Dan Reeves telling us he has never had an offense ranked that low. 28. Here's Hampton back out across the 35. James Francis, Darrell Williams combined to make the stop.
This is right up the middle, and they're going over Brian Williams. Here's the center. Take a look at here, and right in here. These 3 guys, the 2 guards in the center, are the guys that are going to open the hole. Watch this. Blocking is superb, and they cut right back up over the center with Rodney Hampton, and he picks up about 10 yards.
And it's third at about 1.5 yards. Rodney Hampton has had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, gunning for a 4th in a row. He comes in with 847 yards, takes the pitch, and cannot make the turn. Fernandez Vincent, the strong safety, leading the assault on Hampton, and the Giants will be forced to punt.
You know, this play, you're running the ball up the middle. I'm sorry, this play just doesn't work. You're running the ball left to right, where the back, first of all, gets no power in running the football, and then they just string it out along the line of scrimmage, and they lose a couple of yards. I don't like the play.
Mike Horan has come on for the second time. Sawyer and Pickens are back. The Giants and the Bengals are scoreless here in the first quarter. Horan had to field that low snap. And it's the rookie, Sawyer. Good coverage by the Giants. 38-yard punt and only a 4-yard return.
You know, Marv, I did see a pumpkin, Marv, and I'll tell you something. These people really must love Halloween. Yes. I mean, they won't let go. Christmas is coming, boys.
And a first down at the 31 for Cincinnati. No score, 8:20 remaining first quarter. Jeff Cothran, the big rookie running back out of Ohio State, goes 6'1" and about 250 pounds. Stopped by Corey Widmer, picked up 5. So a second down and 5 at the 36-yard line. Cincinnati Bengals began the season at 0-8, won 2 in a row, beat Seattle in overtime in Seattle, winning at home over Houston, but they have lost their last 3 games. And Blake to throw, and was almost picked off. Michael Brooks had a shot, and that is the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, a familiar face here in the New York area. Bruce Coslett, the one-time head coach of the New York Jets, who was working the sidelines here at Giant Stadium, but as head coach of the Jets, the man to the right, Jeff Blake, wearing the Jet uniform. He was the third-string quarterback for the Jets, so handling the clipboard.
And Jeff Blake said to us yesterday, Marv, hey, look, all I want to do is have a chance to play, and I got that, and I want to show people what I can do.
Third down play for Blake, who has a first down, combining with his favorite target, Carl Pickens, his 51st catch of the season, and that is good for 13. Thomas Randolph and John Booty combined to make the stop.
Yeah, but watch what Pickens does to Randolph. Runs up into him and then releases. Now Randolph knows that he has help deep by Booty, but Pickens just breaks it off. The ball is thrown perfectly. First down.
And a first down at midfield. The pitch for Broussard. And runs it out at the 45-yard line. Run out by Michael Brooks. Back to the subject of Carl Pickens.
last week, 105 yards, his 4th straight game over 100 yards. Did it against the Steelers. The first time that has been accomplished since the 1990 season when Andre Rison of Atlanta did it. Carl Pickens coming on strong the last 6 games. And Paul, if he goes over 100 today, a 5th straight week, it'll be the first time in 28 years that has been pulled off in the NFL. Back to the ground for Broussard, and he is stopped by Brooks.
Boy, Michael Brooks is just looking, making his keys, and then comes down the line of scrimmage. Number 94 is Michael Brooks. First of all, this big guy right here doesn't get blocked. Watch what he does. See him reading. He's reading. He knows the play is coming, and he slides right inside. Watch this for the loss. That's just outstanding linebacker play.
Michael Brooks, the emotional leader of the defense. Last week came up with his first interception as a Giant, and his first in 2 years. 3rd down and 5. And Blake has Broussard, who picks up the 1st down. Thomas Randolph, the right corner, on the coverage.
Well, the 2 receivers going downfield, Marv, knock each other off, and then Broussard comes out of the backfield, and Blake sees him open. But it was a nice pickup by the quarterback, being able to throw the ball. Now watch Blake. He's looking for the slant pattern. That's not there. So here's Broussard right on the right-hand side. Bang, he's there. First down.
And this is the 7th play of the drive. First down at the Giant 40-yard line. Broussard found a hole. And that is upended at the 32-yard line by the strong safety Jarvis Williams, a man who last week returned from a knee injury.
I love that when you just said found a hole. I mean, there was none. There really was no hole at all, and Broussard gets through the hole. It looked like, that he's going to go up into that big mess, and no way to get out of there. But watch this. Look at this hole. Watch what Broussard finds. Boom. The blocking is outstanding. Makes a play. Picks up 9.
It'll be a 2nd and 1 down at the 30-yard line. Good block by the left tackle Kevin Sargent, who was a question mark for today's game off a most unusual injury. Broussard has the 1st down and then fumbles. Michael Brooks on the recovery for the Giants.
Broussard looked like he was losing control of the ball when he went through the hole because he turned backwards.
Timeout is taken, just under 5 minutes to go, 1st quarter.
Makes a play is this man right here, Mike Fox. I'll show it to you in a minute, right after this play.
Yes, the Giants.
Boom, hits the ball comes out.
Giants taking over off the recovery by Brooks. Hampton is gang tackle. Stopped at the line. Hernandez Vincent involved on that tackle. 34th turnover for Cincinnati just a moment ago. Only Washington has turned it over more often. Minus 21 turnover ratio for the Bengals.
I'm laughing. That is really ridiculous. That is a terrible stat. Take away, keep away.
And a 2nd down and 9 for the Giants from their 27-yard line. Penalty flags come flying, and the play is blown dead.
Full start prior to the snap, number 76. 5 yards.
Elliott, Jumbo Elliott, number 76, just back into the game, Marv.
Elliott and Roberts back on the Giant offensive line for this series, both bothered by back spasms. So Greg Bishop and Scott Davis started the game, but Elliott in there along with Roberts. Roberts strained his back while lifting weights, as you did the other day, Paul.
Yes, I did.
And Elliott bothered by back spasms throughout the week. Last week was replaced by Greg Bishop. 2nd down and 14 at the 22-yard line. Marv and Paul Maguire from Giant Stadium as Brown shows the play action, and that is intercepted. Picked off by Steve Tovar, who gets inside the 20 and tackled by the tight end Howard Cross.
Oh, Tovar does a great job in getting depth. He gets great depth on this play. The ball was thrown to Howard Cross, coming across the middle. And Tovar just makes an outstanding play. Hold on a second. Stop it, guys, right here. Here's the guy. But watch, see the depth that he has back from the quarterback. He's back, what, 15 yards? Now watch what he does. He reads the quarterback now. Here comes Cross across the middle. The ball's thrown. He goes up, knocks it down. What a super interception.
And for the Bengals, only their 9th pick of the season. They're last in the NFL in that department. So Blake to work. And Blake couldn't find anybody and is taken down. Keith Hamilton and Michael Strahan combining for the sack.
That's the one thing that this young man usually does. Is this young man is go in a hurry, but Strahan is the guy that comes in and makes the play. He is way out here, and watch this. When the quarterback holds the ball that long, watch what happens. Here he comes. Boom. There's the tackle, way from the other side of the field.
And a second and long leading to Derek Fenner. Trying the middle, stop by Michael Brooks. So Derek Fenner carries the ball for the first time. Derek Fenner has struggled. He has fumbled 4 times. He says very candidly he feels he is out of Cincinnati's plans for next year. We can understand those thoughts because the Bengals have made it clear that they are looking at one of the outstanding running backs coming out of this year's draft.
I think that is their prime target, to get a running back. And there are a lot of them coming out.
3rd down and 9 at the 17. Cincinnati is the worst team in the NFL inside the 20 within the red zone. Blake, penalty marker is down as Blake going down tried to release. Strahan putting the pressure on.
They're going to have a holding penalty against the Bengals. But Blake is staying in too long. He's waiting too long. He's putting too much confidence in his offensive line. It's good to have confidence in your offensive line, but this young man, since he's been playing, Marv, has released a lot quicker than he's doing now. Released by running down the field with the football. He only has to pick up 9. He's got the speed and the agility to do that.
Face. Number 73 of the offense, 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Ken Moyer. Let's see what I'm talking about here. Now watch Blake in this pocket. He's staying. Now normally he would be gone by now, but he doesn't. He tries to go up in. Strahan is the guy that makes the play, but there's a holding penalty.
That's the left tackle, Kevin Sargent. I mentioned the unusual incident that he suffered, actually a household accident yesterday while he was feeding his baby. Paul, listen carefully. Apparently he dropped a plate on his foot. Blake running out of trouble. Blake is hit down at the 16 by Jesse Armstead. Blake couldn't find anybody and then ran, but he is short of a 1st down, and it will be a 4th and 7 as Blake ran for 11.
You did say a plate.
Yes, a plate.
Good thing you didn't drop the baby.
Yeah. Apparently a very heavy plate.
Yeah, that's a big eater.
33-yard attempt coming up by Doug Pelfrey, the 2nd-year man from Kentucky, who was hit on 22 out of 26. And this one is off to the left. The Giants and Bengals remain scoreless.
Right here, the flag. He had nothing to do with it. Pelfrey just hooks the ball. Watch his leg. He just hooks right around the ball, and he misses. Blame it on the kicker. Everything else is perfect.
So he missed from 33 yards away, and the Giants take over. Hampton. Rodney Hampton was stopped in his tracks by the outside linebacker, James Francis. Stopped at the line of the 2nd down and 10. Hampton has carried 6 times for only 12 yards.
We saw at that time Hampton slipping, Marv. It rained here all day yesterday through the Jet game, and that field is still wet, and it never had a chance to dry out.
Let's see if the Giants run again on 2nd and long. Yes, they do, and it is dropped. Hampton couldn't handle the pitch and then was able to cover up, and he in turn is covered up by the left defensive end, John Copeland.
You know, I don't care about the wind. You still should be able to throw the football. You've got to let Dave Brown throw the ball. Now here's the toss. Toss looks good, but it hit Hampton right in the face mask. The toss was a little high, but you still keep your eyes on the ball. Hampton obviously was looking to his blockers. You know, it was amazing talking to Rodney Hampton because, you know, you said they changed, they put Scott Davison and Greg Bishop. And we said, you know, when you're scouting the Bengals, what were you looking at? He told us, he said, no, I look at our offensive linemen. I want to see what they're going to do so I can run. I think, Rodney, you've got it backwards.
It's a 3rd down and 14 at the 20 from the shotgun. The handoff to Megan. And Megan not able to make the turn. And again, you hear the crowd reacting to the play selection of the Giants. Corey Sawyer was able to force Megan out of bounds.
There was a real trick play there. You know, the other team's throwing the ball. You can throw the ball against the wind. You just have to shorten up the patterns. But you can't just have the quarterback throw the ball on 3rd down, Marv. It's just not fair to the quarterback.
Giants have managed to pick up only 1 first down. Cincinnati with 2. 17 seconds to go in this first quarter. And the punting unit is back on the field as we get a timeout called. Cincinnati taking the timeout. The Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Giants meeting for only the 5th time in the history of these two franchises. The Bengals won the previous 4, all of which have been at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The Bengals are 0-4 here at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. However, all 4 losses have been at the hands of the other club in the area, the Jets. The Giants, the only team the Bengals are undefeated against. Of course, they have only met, including today, 5 times. Now we're set as Haran gets set to punt from his 8-yard line.
This game is going. They're going to keep that streak.
And a pop-up from Haran. Fair catch. Handled by Corey Sawyer. A 32-yard punt. And Cincinnati takes over with 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. Not much happening in this first quarter. Cincinnati 59 total yards. Giants with 35.
This is you're in first down situation, and if again, you know, the flags are going left to right, but the Bengals going right and left, and obviously they're kicking the ball better, throwing the ball better. Throw this ball on first down. But just the last time and a half, you're going to have a chance to do it if the wind is that big of a factor.
Well, Pickens to the right, Scott to the left. First down at the 47. And the acceleration by Broussard. Steve Broussard is stopped by the outside linebacker Corey Miller as this first quarter comes to a close. An 8-yard pickup by Broussard. We'll be back in a moment. Stopping behind the line.
They were running up the middle against Fox and Howard, and then they made a change to put Stacy Dillard in the game, number 71, and he takes on the center. Stacy Dillard breaks that and moves upfield. That's Brill's number 65 as a center. He just went right through him, stood him up, made the play. Outstanding.
Stacy Dillard in his 3rd year from Oklahoma last week in Cleveland. Got to the quarterback, Vinny Testaverde. It's a 3rd down and 2. Flag is thrown and the play blown dead.
They go motion again by Cincinnati.
False start prior to the snap. Number 77, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Number 77, Kevin Sargent. Saw a plate coming. Ducked. Yes. I thought a plate was going to fly.
This was not a household incident, though, Paul. Kevin Sargent, also a guy who's made it back from a broken arm. Broke it last season. Did not heal properly. Took some time before he was able to get back into playing shape. 3rd down and 7 at the 50 as the second quarter gets underway. Marv, Paul Maguire from Giant Stadium. Blake again couldn't find anyone and then was tripped up. Hamilton and Strahan combined to make the stop.
Strahan was the man that really got his feet and knocked him down. Otherwise, Blake would have had a lot of running room up the middle of the field because, again, he was rushed out of the pocket, went up the middle, and he likes to run up the middle with the ball.
Here's Lee Johnson, who is averaging just under 44 yards, second in the AFC behind Jeff Gossett of the Los Angeles Raiders, looking to angle it with Megan back. And took the high hop inside the 25, handled by Steve Tovar, so that is a 23-yard punt. Mike Sherrard has come on strong as of late. He's been a big play receiver after a slow start, and actually very unhappy about being out of the offense earlier in the year, a subject we discussed with Mike.
Yeah, it's just the fact that, you know, if we're winning, I'm not going to complain about anything. If I'm not catching any balls, just blocking, running decoy routes, if the team is winning, that's fine. But if we're losing 7 games in a row and I'm not being used, and I think I can help things out, you know, I'm going to tell my coach or the quarterback, whomever, that, you know, I want to be part of it. I want to help our team get back on the winning track. And, you know, since the Houston game, they've got me involved. They design plays for me, and they give me opportunities, and it's worked out.
And Dave Brown opens up on first down by throwing the ball, connecting with the other wide receiver, Chris Callaway.
What a difference it makes when you throw on first down. Marv. Now, Callaway was coming across the middle. Sherrard was going deep, cleared it out, and Brown hits Callaway. Perfect throw.
The Giants have a first down at their 42-yard line. 2 minutes have gone by in the second quarter with no score. Hampton not able to get going. Reaches out to the 45, met by the left defensive tackle, Keith Rucker. Indianapolis and New England are scoreless in the second quarter. The same for the Rams and Tampa Bay as we check the ticker. Giants with a second down and 6 across the 45-yard line. Dave Brown back as the starting quarterback. Last 2 weeks of the wins over Washington and Cleveland, the feeling is that he has made progress. He's come back from a concussion and that 1-game benching against the Cardinals. And Brown completes for another first down. Sherrard beating the defense. Sherrard getting down to the goal line. Tackled by Darrell Williams. A 53-yard pass play.
I mean, what a play. When you have time to set up and throw the football, Dave Brown hits Sherrard coming across, and then he breaks it up the middle of the field. What he's complaining about is he thought he stuck the ball over the end line. Now, coming across the middle, you're going to see Sherrard. He goes in motion and comes back underneath. Look at how open he is. There's absolutely nobody on him. Now he breaks. Hold it right there. Stop. Here the guys right here. He goes right through the center of the field, and there's nobody really there to stop him. What a great play.
And a first and goal down at the 1-yard line, and here is Hampton for the touchdown. And Paul, that pass to Sherrard represents the first time the Giants have thrown on second down here this afternoon.
Yeah, it is. You know, they weren't even throwing the ball on first down, and now they throw the ball on first down. The first one to Callaway, and then throw it to Sherrard for Brown's longest completion as a pro. And the thing that Sherrard was complaining about really was at the end of the play, he stuck the ball. He thought he stuck it over the end line and got the touchdown. That's what he wanted, but they got it anyway.
And now Brad DeLuiso will attempt the extra point. DeLuiso replacing David Treadwell in the second half last week in the game in Cleveland. So he pounds it through to give the Giants a 7-0 lead. Bengals, we are early in the second quarter. 4 plays, 75 yards. The big play, the 53-yard pass reception by Mike Sherrard. Eric Ball, Adrian Hardy are back deep.
They said to you, get involved, didn't he? He got involved.
Yes, Sherrard several weeks back very unhappy. Oh! That'll be so overrunning the football that the wind knocked off the tee.
Guy, you know, there's where a guy can really get hurt. You know, yes. You're running up, you're going full speed, and just he's laughing, but you're running up full speed. Watch this ball.
You just hate when that happens.
Oh yeah, I mean he's right there. Look at the whole team goes down the field. It's very easy to pull a muscle.
Although Brad seemed to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, he was happy he didn't swing at it. Now they have a holder.
Yes, Corey Raymond backup defensive back, will hold for Meloiso. And he makes good contact. A return by Eric Ball. Good second effort by Ball, reaching out to the 29, stopped by John Booty.
All right, here's the end. Now watch Sherrard with his right hand. He's going to try to get the ball over the end line. He knows he's going to get caught at about the 5 right here. But watch with the ball. See what he's doing? He tries to get it over the end line. He is out of bounds before it goes over. That's what he was complaining about to the official. He thought that he broke the plane to the goal line, but he was out of bounds when he did it. Nice call by the official.
Cincinnati from the 30-yard line. 11:35 remaining in the first half. Oh, Cothran took a shot.
Michael Brooks, I mean, this is a shot. You talk about disappearing. You know, you see those head-on collisions where the guy gives a little bit and you may pick up a half a yard. You don't pick up anything here. Cothran just about disappears. Watch this hit by this guy right now, Brooks. And now that's going the other way. What a play. What a play.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the 29. Blake in trouble, completes the screen for Broussard. Following his blocker, and Broussard able to get in across the 45 for a first down. Picked up 17. Sparks and Campbell combined to make the stop.
Now, obviously, you know, throwing into the wind, you're throwing shorter patterns. The screen pass works. It'll work once or twice, maybe in the quarter. But you still, with Blake, has to get downfield. 3 out of 5 for 35 yards. You've got to throw the ball more.
Jeff Blake, a 6th-round draft pick by the New York Jets out of East Carolina. Never figured, though, in their long-range plans. Looking at a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Trying to step it up, and again goes short, completes to Pickens. And he has a first down. Jeff Blake mopped up 3 times as a rookie with the Jets. He was inactive for all 16 games last season, then cut last August because the Jets wanted to keep Len Foley, the rookie from Boston College.
Look where Pickens comes from, Marv. He's in motion on the other side of the field. Now watch what he does. He sees the quarterback in trouble. Now what he's trying to do is get open, get me the ball. He is open and picks up about 13 yards on the play. Just outstanding play by both the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Second catch of the day for 25 yards for Pickens. First down at the 41. Here's Broussard, and he's hit behind the line. Philippi Sparks, who had missed 5 of the last 6 games because of injuries, for the most part recurring groin injuries, in on the tackle.
This is a nice play by Sparks, too, because he's the corner out there. If Broussard gets by him, he's got a lot of running room. But Sparks makes an open field tackle, and it just really is nice. He'll be at the bottom right down here. Watch the play he makes. He reads run now. When he sees the run, he comes up. He's the only guy out there, makes the play for a loss of 2. That's good.
2nd and 12 at the 43. And Blake's pass is knocked down by Jesse Armstead. Well, Jeff Blake goes maybe 6 foot, about 200 pounds, and he has made the point on a number of occasions when his lack of height is brought up. Says, hey, it's no problem. Points to NFL quarterbacks such as Joe Montana, Rodney Peete, Billy Joe Tolliver, who are all around his size, and also makes the point there are taller guys who have had their passes blocked.
It's 5'11 and a half.
You measure them.
That's it. No more.
It's a 3rd down and 12. And he comes up short, trying to connect with Cothran.
Eric Howard's put some heat on, but that time it looked like he was almost maybe going to pull it down because he threw the ball directly into the ground. There was no chance for the ball. Number 74 is Howard's going to be in, not really in his face yet, but watch this ball. It almost looked like he was going to pull it down because he jumps up and then throws it up over the top. If he was 6'5", that would have been an easy throw. Height is an important thing.
Lee Johnson punting for the 3rd time. Giants in double coverage because of the wind problem. to the end zone. It's a 43-yard punt, and now it's being run out by Arthur Marshall on a delay. Players were standing around, and then Marshall, feeling it was a live ball, was able to run it out, but there's a penalty flag. Penalty flag is down. And let's see what the call is from Dale Hamer.
Blown. The ball dead is a touchback. First and 10 on the 20. Timeout.
Well, apparently it was ruled dead in the end zone. So it is a touchback, and they'll move it out to the 20 when we return.
So he walks over and picks up the ball, decides I'll run with it. And he brings the ball out, but the ball was blown dead. Now, Marv, you said there was a flag. Yes, there was. They had illegal substitution, they thought, and the flag was picked up because, as the good Dale Hamer said, there was no illegal substitution. So we got everything cleared up. Yeah.
All right, so they'll start out from the 20-yard line. Dave Brown, 4 for 5, 89 yards, and that number helped by the 53-yard completion with Sherrod. Hampton picks up short yardage. Ricardo McDonald, the outside linebacker, made the stop. Pick up a 4 to be a second down and 6. Well, coming up next, it is the most
part of that.
I read about that, yes. Second down play, they're calling it a second down and 7. And Brown will throw on second down for the second time and completes with Callaway. Callaway with a first down and some more. Hit from behind by James Francis. So that's a 21-yard gain.
You know, we talked earlier about this young man, and you said, Dave Brown, that the players are feeling about the confidence that he has. Well, he has grown up very fast. Look at this young man. Watch him sit there. That's confidence in your line. He waits, he waits, he waits, and then he sees Callaway and dumps it up. He was not the primary target. And James Francis is going to try to strip the ball. You see him reach his arm in there? But what Callaway did, feeling him come, he moved the ball into his other hand.
The Giants start out from the 43 on the first down play. It goes to Hampton, Tovar, and Francis combined to make the stop. We were talking with Dave Brown after practice on Friday. He said he got so down during that losing streak that went 7 games that he actually stopped going to places that he normally visited. Did not want to see anyone. Even stopped going to Knick games, and he's a season ticket holder.
The fans and the press can get down on you when you're losing, you know. When you're winning, it changes. I like the thing he said about the newspaper. He hasn't read one all year. His mother is saving him for him so she can read him to him when the season's over.
I never believe that.
You got to read the paper sometime.
Second down and 5 at the 48-yard line. Again, Hampton. And short of the first down, tripped up by Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, who did not start last week because reportedly he was late for a couple of pregame meals. Head coach David Shula said he is not in the doghouse.
I don't think he's missed too many meals at 6'5" and 313. He's probably eaten somewhere. Maybe just didn't make the meals that they had.
The overall first pick in the draft, Dan Wilkinson. Third down is outside. And 1, yes. And Brown completes. Sherrod on the first down. No flags thrown.
Big Daddy, he was offside. You know, you can't get into the neutral zone. You can't before the ball. And I don't understand why they didn't throw a flag here, because Dan Wilkinson was in the area. Now watch this. See, here's that area you're talking about. Watch this. Look at his hand. He's offside. He's in the neutral zone. But they got the first down anyway.
Giants first down to the Cincinnati 40-yard line. 5.5 to go in the first half. Hampton on a slant. And Tovar and Brim combined to make the stop. Steve Tovar last week, 13 tackles in the loss against the Steelers, leads the team in that department.
Get the feeling they're trying to get Rodney Hampton his 1,000 yards today.
Well, Rodney coming in 153 yards short of the 1,000 plateau. He has gone over 1,000 the last 3 years. 12 carries, 33 yards to this point for Hampton. Giants Giants have a 2nd and 5 at the Cincinnati 35. The snap was mishandled, and then Brown throwing it away.
Well, this was supposed to be play action pass to Rodney Hampton, and Rodney hesitates, and then they go through with the play. Dave Brown drops the ball onto the ground, but you can see that Hampton, he hesitated and then went. Watch this guy right in here. Watch what Hampton does when the ball goes on the ground. See him hesitate? He goes through the fake, and he sets up because he is the blocker. Brown now has a problem, so he gets to the outside and just throws the ball away. And you're allowed to throw the ball away as long as you're throwing it to the yard marker, to the outside.
This is the 8th play of the drive. 3rd down and 5. Brown from the shotgun, and it was deflected. Ball was tipped, intended for Callaway. Flag is thrown in the secondary.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. When the ball is deflected, it can't be pass interference because there is no pass interference. If the ball is deflected, they'll pick it up.
There's no foul on the play. The ball was tipped.
Thanks, Dale.
No foul.
Keith Rucker, number 95, hits the ball. You know, you have a feeling when you look at this team, Marv, and you and I were talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. There he is, the big man that knocked the ball down. This team next year is going to be a pretty good football team if they get a couple of people in a couple of positions.
Well, I know they are looking for a running back. A long field goal attempt by Deloiso from 53 yards away. The hero last week against the Browns. He line drives it. It is good. 3 for 3 last week in Cleveland. Hits from 53 right here. Legs in the National Football League last season hit a 54-yard field goal to beat the Cardinals. And there is David Treadwell, not dressed for today's game. Last season, Dan Reeves used Treadwell for short kicks, Deloiso for the long attempts. Then Treadwell released in the offseason, but brought back. Deloiso went only 2 of 5 in preseason, and he booms one out of the end zone, but a flag has been thrown.
Giants offside. They'll bring it back and make him kick it again, I would imagine. You know, on that kick, when it went 53 yards by Deloiso, that thing, I bet you could have gone 73. I mean, that was unbelievable how high. The Giants were offside. Now the question, do you want to make him kick again? Marv, I'm going to show you why I thought, see right up here, here's the ball up on the top up here, folks. Look at this. Here's the goalpost. That's how high above the goalpost. It's already cleared it now. That ball would have gone at least 73 yards. Well, look at this. I mean, as soon as he hit it, he knew. I mean, you have the feeling when you hit a ball that solidly as he hit that baby.
And a nice gesture. The first man who congratulated him on the sideline was the man he has beaten out, David Treadwell. They are very close friends. Very difficult situation. Treadwell had missed 5 of his last 8 tries, including a 37-yarder that he hooked last week in the first half against the Browns. And then Dan Reeves made the decision to go to Brad Deloiso. And he came through here today with a 53-yard field goal to give the Giants the 10-0 lead. Dan Reeves had both Deloiso and Treadwell with him in Denver. Now he puts it on the ground. Adrian Hardy on the return. Adrian Hardy to the outside. And that is Deloiso involved in getting him out of bounds. Adrian Hardy, a second-year player from Northwest Louisiana, one-time San Francisco 49er, a second-round pick of the 49ers last season, returns it 42 yards.
Look at Hardy. I mean, when you take a look at this ball on the ground, and he just goes up into the pile and then breaks out to his left. And this is what happens. Offside on the kickoff. Brad Deloiso kicked the ball out of the end zone, this time on the ground, and this time the Cincinnati Bengals get the ball at midfield and not the 20-yard line. 30-yard advance. He's got Deloiso with him. I'll take you with me for a while, Fred. Not used to tackling many people.
All right, Pickens to the left and Scott to the right, but they go to the ground. Broussard. And he is gang tackled. Jarvis Williams, the strong safety, the first to get to him.
Well, that was a great hit.
Steve Broussard 4 weeks ago suffered a neck injury that caused some partial paralysis. Making it back into the lineup. Free agent pickup from Atlanta. He was a first-round draft pick of the Falcons. Just picked up 7. It's a, I should say, picked up 3. It's a second down and 7 at the 47-yard line with 3:35 remaining in this first half. Blake looking downfield, could not find anyone. Again, good coverage, and it's almost picked off. It's almost picked off twice on that sequence. First cleanly, and then on the deflection.
Corey Widener almost got the ball first, number 90, and then I think it was Whitmer, I'm sorry. Right there, the ball is tipped up in the air, then hit again, and then Michael Brooks almost had it. That's a tip drill, 3-way tip drill.
Third down and 7 at the 47-yard line. Giants 10, the Bengals nothing. Giants trying to make it 4 straight wins. Blake going deep, and it's dropped by Pickens. Carl Pickens beating the secondary, but could not make the catch.
This ball is perfectly thrown. Now, I tell you, can you throw it into the wind? Yes, you can. The ball was thrown 50 yards. But it looks like Pickens here slowed up, looking at the wind, and then had to accelerate again. Campbell is down there with him, but Pickens has this for a touchdown. Look at this. He slowed up, and the ball goes off his hands. Should have caught the ball. Perfect ball. Blake knows he's got touchdown. Look at this. Just catching.
Lee Johnson on the punt once again. Short punt. Arthur Marshall did well to make the catch with that tricky wind. So we're down to 3:12 remaining in this first half, and the Giants get it back. A reminder, next Sunday, NBC Sports will present an NFL doubleheader starting 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time with NFL Live. Most of you will see the Jets play host to the Chargers, or New England go up against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of the country will see a battle between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. A big game, a game which could determine the winner of the AFC Central. And the NFL has moved this game to a 4 p.m. Eastern start, so more fans can watch this important matchup. Check your local listings for the game in your area. From the 25-yard line, Brown with the play action, and then his pass is batted out. Well, I'll tell you, Brown's 6'5". He's just too short, Paul.
Crumrock gets him. Well, you know, if you think that Cincinnati Bengals have seen enough of Rodney Hampton today, not so. If they look around, look at this. 27, 27. There's some Rodney Hamptons all over this joint. I mean, these guys have got to be really confused.
Paul, your mind is so confusing.
Yes, it is. It's been a long weekend here.
It's a second down and 10 at the 25-yard line as we come up on 3 minutes to go in the half. Brown with the time, and that intended for Aaron Pierce.
Oh, Marv, you know, you want to know why Brown has been throwing the ball very well. He didn't throw it well here, but, I mean, he's got all the time in the world. Watch this. Watch this offensive line. Right down the line. Guys are on the ground. Look at this. They're not even close to Brown. He has got all the time, and then he has a throwing lane and makes a bad throw.
It's a 3rd and 10 from the 25-yard line. The Giants 10 and the Bengals nothing. And now Brown going deep. And Callaway had a shot at it. Chris Callaway in a race with the left corner, Mike Grimm.
Well, there were 2 officials down there, and Mike Grimm obviously times this thing perfectly because Grimm goes up over the top. Watch this at Callaway. See, the officials are all standing there. Look at this. He never touches him. Just gets in his vision and makes a play. Great play by Mike Grimm, number 43. Watch this. He never touches him. Just breaks that vision from the ball to his hand. Bang. That's all you need.
Mike Grimm spent 2 years with the Jets. This is second season with Cincinnati. As I say, blocked the vision of Callaway. Ran with his 4th punt of the day. Handled by Corey Sawyer. And Sawyer broke the tackle, directing traffic, and hurdles his way inside the 30-yard line. A flag is thrown. Good return by Corey Sawyer. He went for 38 yards off a 40-yard punt.
Oh, and Carl Pickens, you know, you talk about heads-up play. Pickens sees him get through the maze, basically the maze. Sawyer gets through the maze, and then he just turns and gets downfield and blocks the punter.
Illegal block. Personal foul. Number 2 on the kicking team. On the return. 15 yards. End of the run. First down.
Legal block on a kicking team. All right, here it comes. Watch this. You see Carl Pickens? Watch what he does. Sawyer goes through the hole. He goes through first. Pickens. He sees him alive. Now watch what he does. Turn, heads up. Nobody behind. Let me go forward here. I'll get the punter. Nice play. Now the penalty here is called on Horan. You know why? Watch him. He goes at his feet. You can't block a guy below the knees. That's what he's doing. He's going down on Pickens to block him below the knees, and they call it. Good call.
And a nice return by Sawyer, breaking the tackle of Jesse Campbell. And it puts Cincinnati at the Giant 12-yard line. First down. Just under 3 minutes to go.
And an unusual call.
Just under 3 to go in this first half. And it's the second back. Broussard to the outside, and he's run out at the 6-yard line by Campbell. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel for this update. Greg?
All right, Marv, 5 games ago, the Colts switched Ray Buchanan from safety to cornerback. He's had an interception in every single game, and 3 of them returned for touchdowns, including this one. 90 yards, unfortunately, goes into a bit of a showboat routine at the end of it. Still, with the extra point, the Colts lead the Patriots 10-0 in the second, Marv.
Bill Parcells and the New England Patriots coming off the solid victory over the Jets last week, trailing the Colts. Here's Broussard, and he is stopped down at the 3-yard line by Sparks.
All they have to do is to get it to the 2.5, and they can get a first down. And this, as we know, is 4-down territory for a team that's not going anywhere. You're going to go for it no matter what happens. It's coming up 3rd down. But look at Broussard. Watch him hit into this hole. Gets an outstanding block from Cothran.
2-minute warning provided. We'll be back in a moment. Well, the officials just changed the spot on that run by Broussard. Put it just outside the 2. It is a first down, a first and goal for the Bengals at the 2-yard line. And they have had their problems in this situation. Fenner is stopped. Stopped by Brooks. Well, coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka will be on hand, plus Bob Costas with a special conversation with Ken Norton Jr. of the San Francisco 49ers. Norton talking about the strained relationship with his father, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Ken Norton Sr. That's coming up at halftime. 2nd and goal down at the 1-yard line. And you see people jumping on both sides, and flags are thrown. Now, last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Bengals not able to get it in. They had 3 attempts on 3rd and goal from the 1, and then try to throw it in. They tried 3 runs, could not convert, and then Blake came up short. The call here against Cincinnati.
They called it on Cadigan again for moving. Number 68, Dave Cadigan. This guy, David Schuller, said, what do I need to do to get in the end zone? I get down here. I can't get the ball in the end zone.
The Bengals with only 4 rushing touchdowns this season. Their running game has been invisible. Look at that.
32 times inside there, and they only scored 22, and 11 of them were field goals.
2nd and goal at the 6. Cothran, the long deep back, now peels out. Blake throwing for the end zone. Flag is thrown. Penalty marker is down. The pass intended for Pickens.
How about holding against Cincinnati? And it may be Kevin Sargent, number 77. I'm not sure. But he was back there. There's a holding penalty. That'll 10 more.
Holding. Number 77 in the offense.
Number 77. Yeah, he's holding. Kevin Sargent. Me? Yes, you. Here you are, right outside here. Watch this. He's going to be holding straight hand. Here, that one around the neck is not legal. Oh. Now you know why they don't score very much inside the red zone. They go the other way.
They're now set back to a 2nd and goal outside the 16. And it appears that the Bengals want to talk it over. Timeout taken with 1:23 to go in this first half. Just outside the 5-yard line. Giant coverage has been terrific throughout this first half.
It really has. And every time you see the quarterback run like that, and there's David Schuller just shaking his head, but when you see the quarterback run like that, credit the defensive secondary for everything that happens. Take a look at Blake. He's looking downfield. There's nothing there. He steps up. There's still nothing. I have to run with the ball. When you step up and you have that much time to step up and there's no one open, you know that the secondary has done their job.
It's a 3rd and goal down at the 5-yard line. A drive that has been stalled by several Cincinnati penalties. Blake looking to drill it in. He does for the touchdown. Troy Sadowski, the one-time Jet, made the catch. However, another flag has been thrown.
Actually, it was number 80, Carl Pickens, coming across the middle, but there is another flag on the play. And the extra point man, Pelfrey, is coming off to talk to the coach, so we know we have at least poor David Schuller. He's sitting there looking, what else can go wrong? Okay, here we go.
There is no flag on the play. Touchdown.
Oh, it is a touchdown. No flag on the play.
Carl Pickens came across the middle, and this play, you talk about blocking for the offensive line. Now Blake had plenty of time to throw the ball. Pickens comes all the way across from the left outside and underneath the goalpost and makes the play.
So the Bengals on the board. And here's the extra point by Pelfrey. So a 5-yard touchdown pass play to complete the drive.
Pickens on the outside. Now watch him. He's going to come all the way underneath. Randolph is right there. He frees him up to the middle. And that was a perfectly thrown ball.
So for Carl Pickens, his 8th touchdown catch of the season. And the Giants now lead it by the score of 10-7 with 1:11 remaining in the second quarter. And finally, the Cincinnati Bengals are able to score.
When you see David Schuller put his hand up like that, he's just saying we're going for 1 point, we're going to kick the extra point, and that's it. But I don't know why you don't go for 2. What difference does it make? I mean, a tie, it's not going to help you. I'm just saying you're in a position where you've only won a couple of games. You're really not going anywhere. And it's a chance to work on your 4th down plays, because that's all really a 2-point play is. It's a 4th down play. Now they're going to play some different players in this ball game, Marv. The Bengals are. I talked to David Schuller yesterday when we were talking to him, and he just said, I want to take a look at some people for next year. This is almost, you almost look at it like, not, but it isn't, almost look like it is training camp atmosphere, because you're going to see a lot of players play. They want to know what these young men are going to do in the last 3 games of the season and see how they're going to hold up when they know they're not going anywhere, and it's a good test for them. But they want to win the game. Let's get that point straight. The Bengals would love to win the football game, but they also want to look at some people.
All right, David Megan, Arthur Marshall are back. And I think that Lee Johnson will need some help with the football. So Corey Sawyer will hold it. Johnson puts it on the ground. Handled by Derek Brown, the backup tight end. Minute 5 remaining. First half. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, at Foxborough, the Patriots come right back after the Buchanan interception for a touchdown. Drew Bledsoe to Leroy Thompson, 9 yards and a touchdown. Less than a minute to play in New England, and the Patriots cut the Colts lead to 10-7, Marv.
All right, Greg, and the Giants now take over at their 35-yard line with a minute 5 remaining in the first half.
And 3 timeouts, plenty of time.
Flag is thrown to the left side of the Giants line. They now have Jumbo Elliott.
Snap, number 76.
Back at tackle, it was Elliott. Called on that penalty. Scott Davis at left guard, Brian Williams at center, Lance Smith at right guard, and Doug Riesenberg at right tackle. The Giants starting with Greg Bishop and Scott Davis on the left side because of the back injuries suffered by Elliott and Roberts, but both have played, and Jumbo Elliott is back in. It is a 1st and 15 from the 30. And Brown incomplete, intended for Sherrard. Covered by Sawyer. Well, tonight here on NBC starts with an all-new Earth 2, followed by Sequest. And then stick around for the holiday comedy classic National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. That's tonight starting at 7, 6 Central here on NBC. Brown is connected on only one of his last 7 passes off the roll and is able to complete. Arthur Marshall was at the marker, then had to cut back the other way to make the catch. And they spotted just short of a first down. Giants take a timeout with 52 seconds remaining in the half. As Greg told you, Indianapolis now 10-7 over New England. Buffalo by 1 over Minnesota at the half. Green Bay winning big in the second quarter, late second, in front of the Chicago Bears. Philadelphia with a 3-0 lead on Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay over the Rams late second quarter. How about that Browns victory yesterday in Dallas?
I like that. I like that because all year long they've been saying about the Cleveland Browns, who do they play? They haven't played anyone. They played Cincinnati twice, Houston twice in their division. Pittsburgh they played twice. They were lost to them once, but they have not played anyone. Well, yesterday they did. They played the defending Super Bowl champions 2 years in a row, Dallas Cowboys, and beat them. Lampoon Christmas?
Yes.
We had a few of those at our house. Ooh.
It's a 3rd down and 1 at the 44, and on a keeper, Dave Brown has a first down.
Dave Brown should take a timeout because they're just laying on Dave Brown. Look at this. They're trying to pull people up, and look at it falling back down on the ground. Now, I'm going to tell you, Alfred Williams, that is lame. That was lame. He got up, they pulled him off, and then Alfred Williams fell back down. Number 94. Watch this. He goes down. Now, you're going to see him on the ground. Well, we got a play go. We'll catch him.
As they resume, first down at the 47-yard line, and Brown pops it all the way downfield, and it is picked off by Vincent, but a flag has been thrown. Fernandez Vincent involved with Mike Sherrard, and a penalty marker is down.
Well, it sure isn't on Fernandez Vincent because
defense number 43, first down, spot of the foul.
It's called on Brim, the left cornerback, and actually Sherrard had no chance of catching the ball. Look at this. Here's where he runs into Sherrard and faces him. I mean, there's just no call for this. Because Vincent was right there. He had double coverage.
And on the interference, the Giants get it at the 10. First and goal at the 10, 29 seconds remaining in the half. Brown throwing for the end zone. Intended for Callaway.
Well, he gunned that baby. What they've got to think about is getting the ball to Meggett, because Meggett is being covered by Steve Tovar, which is a linebacker, and that's just tough duty. If you run the same play and get Meggett out into the flat, he's going to be on a linebacker. And that's the coverage, the ideal coverage that you want.
Second down, second and goal at the 10-yard line. Brown with a soft pass to Sherrard. Just picked up short yardage. Steve Tovar was right there. And the clock is stopped with 20 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, they have one timeout now. That would be for a field goal if you don't get it in on this play here. Well, actually, yeah, on this play here. But you know, they had the ideal situation twice now with when you have a guy like Maggot coming out of the backfield on a linebacker. You want to get him the ball and let him do his work because everything else has been cleared out.
The Giants coming into today with 3 straight wins after losing 7 in a row. The other side of the picture, you talk about credibility victories on the subject of the Browns. Giants' recent wins have come over Houston and Washington. And the Cleveland Browns, which certainly did afford them credibility, but people do point to the quality of the opposition. And as others will say, hey, you're presented with a schedule. These are games you must win.
You got to win the games to get to the playoffs.
Third and goal at the 8. 20 seconds remaining. Giants have 1 timeout remaining. And Brown throws. Touchdown. Howard Cross, the tight end, with his 4th touchdown catch of the season.
Boy, that was a dart. Dave Brown just threw a dart. You had to catch that because it got stuck right in his chest when he threw the ball. Number 87, Howard Cross, will be on the left-hand side of your screen. He just goes up and sets up right on the goal line. Watch this ball. Bam! I mean, no one has a chance to even get there. Tovar's number 51 was a linebacker. He just saw it go by. There's no chance for me to get it.
Yeah, that's the first catch of the day by Cross. All set up by the 43-yard pass interference on Brim. Aloiso with the extra point, and with 16 seconds remaining in the first half, the Giants lead 17-7.
Problem with that is when Brim takes a look at it, and when he looked at it on the film, he just really had no business being where he was. You can't face guard a guy, first of all, and then he ran into Sherrard when he was trying to face guard him. It's just a terrible play by the corner.
So the Giants will kick it off with only 16 seconds remaining in this first half. Another look at that play. Number 43 is Mike Brim.
See, Marv, not only did he have his hands up, not even looking at the ball, but he also bumped Sherrard downfield. I mean, you've got to call.
Well, Eric Ball and Adrian Hardy are back awaiting the kickoff from Aloiso. Deep kick. And Eric Ball will stay right there. They will bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Well, the Bengals, they do have 1 timeout, but there's only 16 seconds, and you sure don't want to turn the ball over down here. I think you take a knee, get out of here, and try to regroup. That's what they're going to do.
Yes, Jeff Blake just running out the clock. So the Giants hear it from the home crowd. This is the first time that they have been at home since the loss to the Cardinals, which concluded the 7-game losing streak. Giants 17, Cincinnati 7 at the half. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
big factor down there on the field, because in the first quarter the Giants didn't throw the ball hardly at all. They threw a couple of screen passes, but once they got the wind at their back in the second quarter, then of course Dave Brown was throwing the ball all over the place.
Well, Dave Brown 9 of 17, 144 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jeff Blake 5 for 11 for 54 yards. As we check out the Coors Light halftime stats.
Well, I think the one is that if you take a look at it, it's the Bengals rushing, and most of that is Jeff Blake.
As Blake not able to find receivers because of the good coverage by the Giants secondary, and has had to run the ball.
Yeah, the Giants secondary has played extremely well.
And this is Brad DeLuiso, who hit from, they changed it officially to a 52-yard field goal, originally announced as 53. DeLuiso taking over from David Treadwell and gets the second half underway. Eric Ball on the return. And Ball is hauled down at the 30-yard line. So Cincinnati to the offense as this third quarter gets underway. A 24-yard return by Ball. Tito Wooten on the stop, and here comes Jeff Blake, one-time New York Jet out of East Carolina. This is only his 7th NFL start. He is 2 and 4 in a starting role. A couple of weeks back, we talked with former Cincinnati quarterback Boomer Esiason about Jeff, and that was batted down, tipped by Mike Fox. And Boomer said when Jeff was with the Jets, they never saw him show the poise that he's demonstrated in the pocket. Then he was cut by the Jets, briefly considered going to the Canadian Football League. Dad, a running back for Toronto in the CFL. You can see the effect that he's had on their offense the last 6 games, an offense that was dormant before Blake took over. But Blake decided to give Cincinnati a shot when they called, with Bruce Coslett recommending that the Bengals sign him. Bruce had him with the Jets. The hole for Broussard, but it picks up only a couple. Michael Brooks was right there to close him down.
Michael Brooks is having a great day, just closing holes, and we saw a couple of hits he made in the first half. Now Michael Brooks, you see him again. Watch him. He got Broussard. That's his man. He's looking at him. You see the play, sits at the line of scrimmage, waits, and then attacks. It's good play.
It's a 3rd down and 8. Michael Brooks played 6 years for Denver, signed with the Giants as a free agent, 6 tackles and 1 assist for Brooks. Blake able to sidestep and then goes incomplete. Pass intended for the tight end Tony McGee, and a flag has been thrown.
They got a personal foul. You know, it's really uncalled for. It's a personal foul, roughing the passer after the play is thrown.
We'll hear the call from Dale Hamer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, driving his head into the ground, 15 yards.
We're going to see it. I don't know who's out there on the outside, but they're going to call roughing the passer right to number 75. Hamilton just drills him after he throws the ball. You know, when you look at it, you can't take more than 1 step at a quarterback. 1, 2, boy. But that's where he gets him. After he grabs him around the neck, he drives his head into the ground, and I think that's what they call.
And on the first down for the 47, Broussard stopped by Howard and Bailey. Eric Howard, the right defensive tackle, and linebacker Carlton Bailey. So Steve Broussard has been the featured back. He comes in averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He's run 13 times for 46 yards. And now Broussard to the sideline. 2nd down and 6. And it's Cothran with a short pickup. Mike Fox on the stop. Jeff Cothran is a classic power blocking fullback who is in the starting lineup for only the 2nd time. 3rd round draft pick out of Ohio State. And it sets it to a 3rd and 2. At the Giant 45.
They alternate like crazy with the backs. I mean, now we're seeing Fenner is in the backfield now. So that's 3 different backs on 3 different plays.
Derek Fenner, the lone deep back with his 3rd down and 2. But Blake to throw. And he completes for the 1st down to Carl Pickens, covered by the outside linebacker, Corey Miller.
Yeah, well, you're looking at a situation here where the Giants have to be in some kind of a zone coverage and then man-to-man underneath. Because look at Pickens. When he comes out, he goes across the middle. Corey Miller is going to be the guy that ends up on him in a linebacker. And I know that there is not a defense designed where the linebacker is going to cover a guy like Carl Pickens all over the field. So it has to be some kind of zone. He came into the zone, and Blake waited and waited, finally got the ball to him.
4th catch, only 35 yards, though, for Pickens. It is a 1st down at the 40. Fenner stopped by Bailey. Carl Pickens gunning for his 5th straight game of 100 yards or more. It's the kind of season that Carl Pickens has had. 874 receiving yards coming into today. If he goes over 100 today, it will be the first time in 28 years it's been pulled off in the NFL. Lance Allworth, Pat Stutt still the last to do it. On the flea flicker, Blake throwing, and it's almost intercepted. Thomas Randolph had a shot at it. The pass intended for Darnay Scott.
Darnay Scott gets held up at the line of scrimmage. He can't get out, and this was the design play to throw the ball to him. The Giants didn't bite on it. That's number 1. But Darnay Scott really had a tough time. I think it's the first time he's throwing the ball to him. Here at the end, you see it, but the coverage is just so good downfield. There's no place to go. Randolph was there, almost makes the play. But as Darnay Scott, here he gets free. He's downfield. They have 3 guys are on him. Lucky that wasn't picked off.
3rd down play, 3rd and 7 for the Bengals. Blake going short range to Cothran. And he has a 1st down run out by Brooks.
These are some tough fans. They boo all the calls. You know, they didn't like where the ball is being marked here. But Cothran just heads up play, makes the catch, and then looks at the marker and tries to get to the marker. Now, whether he's there or not, they have to bring the chains all the way from the other side. Oh, they're right there. 1st down. Nice play by Cothran. He wasn't the primary receiver. Watch this. He sees it. Got the ball in the right hand, right on the outside, and he steps there. That's where the ball goes out of bounds, not where the guy's foot goes out of bounds. And the official was right on target.
So coming up, the 9th play of this opening drive of the 2nd half that has gone 3.5 minutes. 1st down at the 29 in Giant territory. It's Fenner. Turned back by Brooks.
You know, Michael Brooks is such an impact player, and Howard also 74 is in there. Look at the stand up in the middle there. Once they stand him up, and then there's 74 as Howard, but Michael Brooks, once he gets his hand on it, they just seem to go the other way all the time. There's no forward progress.
Picked up only a yard. It's a 2nd down and 9. Blake with the fake handoff. Blake off the roll. Well, we saw it look like Jeff Blake was hammered. Jeff Query was in the area as the intended receiver. And that is David Klingler, who will toss some balls on the sideline.
Blake is throwing, and he's just trying to get rid of the ball here. He really has no place to go. And then the shot by Coleman Rudolph comes in and just drills him, and that is a good hit.
So Jeff Blake shaken up. David Klingler is warming up. We'll be back in a moment.
New Rosario computers for that small business you call home. And by
well, Jeff Blake shaken up a moment ago, taking that shot from the former New York Jet Coleman Rudolph. David Klingler has come out. He throws on 1st down and completes to Steve Broussard, and then Broussard coughs it up. A loose ball handled by the Bengals.
Broussard is hurt. He's down flat on his back.
Cincinnati has recovered.
That's the only way Darnay Scott is going to get the ball if it comes off the turf. I mean, here it comes. Klingler throws the ball. Broussard gets just drilled right here. Hit, bang. Down to Michael Brooks again. The ball comes out, and then, watch this. When Booty grabs the ball, it just slips out of his hand. Up, and Darnay Scott is right there, makes the reception on the ground.
But that won't count as a reception.
No, it won't count as a reception. But that's the only way they're getting it to him. Look at this. Ball comes up. Darnay Scott makes the catch on the fumble.
And now they're checking out Steve Broussard, who took the hit. David Klingler coming on for Jeff Blake and completed his first attempt. And let's see how the Bengals play it. The report on Jeff Blake that we get from the sideline is a bruised right shoulder, but he is okay to make the return.
Well, on that play that Coleman Rudolph hit him, number 91, he hit him with his helmet in the right shoulder, and then he fell on his shoulder right afterwards. So he actually hit it twice. But he got up and he walked off the field on his own. Blake did. You're still in a fourth down situation. They did not get enough for the first down because remember that on third down they were running with the ball. The ball was never fully recovered by the Giants to turn the possession over. So then the ball just bounces up. Now they're going to go for a field goal.
This will be from about 38 yards away. It's a 4th and 1 from the 20. And Cincinnati trailing 17-7, deciding to go for the 3. Doug Pelfrey missed from 33 earlier. 22 for 27 on the season. This officially from 38. And Pelfrey's kick is good. Giants 17 and the Bengals 10. With a smile despite the bruised shoulder, talking with the quarterback's coach. One-time standout quarterback for the Bengals, Kenny Anderson. Kickoff is on the ground and run back by Brian Kozlowski, one of the up men, able to protect it. There's Kenny Anderson in a conversation with Jeff Blake.
And talking to Coach Shula yesterday, David Shula, and we're talking about Blake. And would, by any chance, Klingler get in the ball game? Only on an injury situation. Blake is his quarterback for the rest of the year. Now, talk about quarterbacks. The interesting thing about the Giants, Marv, talking to Dave Brown the other day, is that he said they don't audibilize on passing downs. On some of the running plays, there's some audibles, but normally they just don't audible. It's not in their system.
And on first down, Rodney Hampton finding some running room. Stopped by the combination of Steve Tovar and Rod Jones.
That's just some good screening blocking because Darrell Williams, number 31, the free safety for Cincinnati, he just got himself caught inside. They're yelling at him now, and he's talking, but he gets himself caught inside. And I'm going to show you something. This is amazing. He's out here, and then number 31 is the guy that gets caught inside right there as they go by, and Hampton gets himself to the outside, picks up 6.
So second down, and about 4. Hampton. This time he is bottled up. It'll set a third down and 3. We were talking about the fact that, as you just mentioned, Dan Reeves does not permit his quarterbacks to audibilize. And we asked, what about Phil Simms last year? He said, no, wouldn't permit it. Although I get the feeling at times Phil would make the adjustment.
Well, that's when you hit your helmet. I didn't hear what you said.
Right.
I didn't get it.
Out of the shotgun. And Brown completes for the first down. Sherrard broke the tackle and then was taken down. Mike Brim made the stop.
Well, and the offense really picked this up beautifully. He's out there on Brim. Sherrard, number 88. Watch this. He hooks up. And this ball is there in a heartbeat. It's there, right in the chest. But that time, Brown had time to throw the ball because the offensive line and backs picked up the blitz.
So Mike Sherrard enjoying another good day. 4 catches, 75 yards, 45 catches for the season. Off the pitch, Hampton. Again finding the room. And gets down to the 30-yard line. So Hampton, 15 carries, 47 yards. Ricardo McDonald on the stop.
Reeves and Brown are communicating. Now Brown's already has the play. That's quick because he knows that when it goes up to the line of scrimmage, his chances of audibleizing are slim and none. and once in a while you'll see Brown, he'll tap himself on the leg. I'll get to it in a second.
Hampton with the first down and additional yardage. Darrell Williams, the free safety, made the stop. The Giants have a first down. Dave Brown telling us the other day that time to time he has to remind Dan Reeves. Now that is not exactly from the computer age what you just saw.
No,
he has to remind him to put the microphone on, and apparently they went back to the old system of shouting the instructions.
Well, I see that down there on his hip is where the switch is, where Reeves is there, and you call a play. But a lot of times Reeves forgets to put it on, and Brown doesn't know what he's talking about.
First down from the 21-yard line. Off the hesitation, Hampton is stopped. Hit for the loss. We're just under 7 minutes to go, third quarter, and the Giants are up, leading the Bengals 17-10. John Copeland with the reps on Rodney Hampton.
So they finally got it. They ran that play 3 times in the same hole, and finally Cincinnati said, hey, they're running the ball over here. Why don't we put some people in that hole, and we'll go ahead and stop it. And they did.
It'll be a second and 14 for the Giants at the Cincinnati 25. The protection and completes to Pierce. Short of the first down. McDonald on the stop. Aaron Pierce in his 3rd year out of the University of Washington, coming up with his first catch of the day.
Dan Wilkinson, Big Daddy, number 99. Is this a hold, folks? Watch this. Here he comes around to the outside. Bo Elliott is waiting on him. Waiting on him. Got the chokehold on it. Come here. Look at this. Come here. I need a piece of your shirt.
3rd and 3 inside the Bengal 15. Inside handoff to Meggett, and the Bengals saw that coming. Copeland on the tackle of David Meggett.
That's 2 stops for Copeland. 2 out of 3. On 4th down, you kick the field goal. You got the wind at your back. Go for it. Get yourself back to a 10-point lead.
So Brad Deloiso, who earlier hit from 52 yards away, 5 for 5 on the season.
Graham will hold.
In his 4th year out of UCLA, a man who's made the rounds. Atlanta, Buffalo, Denver, now the Giants. This from 34 yards out. And he pops it through. So the Giants extend their lead. Well, once again, encouragement from David Treadwell, who basically has lost his job to his friend Brad Deloiso, just hit from 33 yards away.
Well, Coach Reeves said to us that Deloiso will be the kicker. If something happens to him, but will be the kicker for the remainder of the season.
Eric Ball and Adrian Hardy are the deep men. Handled by Ball. Out to the 20. Breaks a tackle. Works his way across the 35-yard line. Run out by John Booty. Good return. 32 yards for Ball. With Paul Maguire and Jeff Blake, who has made his return. Bruised his right shoulder. Sat down briefly. David Klingler came on. Able to complete a pass. And Blake has made his return as the Bengals start out from the 37. And Blake incomplete, intended for Pickens. We are set for an update. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg? An effort by the Patriots. very much alive in the AFC East race along with Buffalo and Miami. Second down and 10. Play action for Fenner, and then Blake with an open man. Tony McGee, the tight end, has a first down and then broke a tackle to pick up the additional yardage.
Broke the tackle of Randolph, Thomas Randolph, number 23. But boy, play action pass that really holds the linebackers and enables McGee to get downfield. Tony McGee, number 82. Watch this, Fenner. The play action holds all the linebackers. Now look where McGee is. He's beyond the linebackers now. There's no way that they can get out to him. And then Randolph comes up and misses the tackle. And there's Pickens downfield again trying to throw a block.
That's good for 28 yards. Tony McGee with his first catch of the day. First down at the 36. Look at that hole for Jeff Cawthron. Corey Whitmer made the stop, and Cincinnati with a good-looking drive after the excellent return by Ball to set it up.
Yeah, this is the situation now with the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't need to be chasing three-point plays. They got to be going for the touchdown and getting 7. Play action, excuse me for a second, Marv, but play action passes, it's one thing that really holds the linebackers, because the linebackers have been so active for the Giants in this ball game.
Second down and 3. Bengals have done some shuffling on the offensive line. They have Brock and Pollard in there right now, and they've done a nice job on this drive. Cawthron stopped by Howard. And let's see where they spotted it. It was short of a first down. Jeff Blake, who will be a free agent following this season. And that interesting list there with Dave Craig, who's had a strong season taking over for Scott Mitchell. How about Frank Reich, Buffalo, Steve Walsh. And it's batted back. Eric Howard got a piece of it.
You know, Marv, this really looked again like Blake was going to try and pull it down. This is 4-down territory. I believe they're going to go for it. But I think, no, they're going to kick a field goal. Maybe. But anyway, Blake, it looked like he just tried to pull that thing back down again. And when he did, Howard was right there and knocked the ball back in his face. They're going to go for it.
It's 4th and about a yard at the 27. The Giants with a 10-point lead. Trying to slash his way. We'll have to see where they spot it. The Giants seem to feel they did stop him. Combination of Jarvis Williams and Corey Whitmer.
They had to get inside the 26-yard line, and they didn't do that. They're right at the 26. It is Giants ball. You can ask for the measurement, but it won't make any difference. That ball had to get almost to the 25-yard line in order for it to be a first down. And you can see the ball sitting at the 26.5-yard line.
It will be Giants ball as we now get the official indication. So Corey Whitmer and Jarvis Williams combining to come up on a big play. We'll be right back. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Giants taking over on downs. First down at the 26-yard line. The Giants with a 20-10 lead on the Bengals. Brown swings it. Meggett was looking to throw, and he could not. Dave Meggett last year threw 2 passes on halfback options, and Paul both went for touchdown.
All right, here's that play before where they stopped it. Watch right here. This is Dillard, and then this guy out here, Hamilton. Well, watch what they do. They stand up the center. They stand up the tight end and the tackle right here, and it opens up the middle. Stop right here, guys. It opens up this middle for the linebackers to come in and make the hit, so Fenner can't get up. See this? When it opens that, it gets people on the ground, then it allows the defensive backs and linebackers to come up inside and make the play.
And on the 2nd and 16, Hampton is stopped. A short pickup, stopped by Keith Rutger. Now we're set for an update. Let's get back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, and now the Patriots are rolling at Foxborough. Marion butts from a yard out on 4th and goal, down 10-0 at one point. The Patriots now lead 21-10 in the third at Buffalo. Minnesota's Terry Allen has scored from a yard out. The Vikings lead the Bills 18-17 in the third. Mark?
Thank you, Greg. What a matchup next week with Buffalo at home for New England. It's a 3rd and 15 from the 21-yard line. Brown in trouble. And now runs it out of bounds. We showed you that list of free agent quarterbacks earlier. Another look at it. Paul, you incorrectly, I know you prepare these graphics. You had Steve Walsh, Tampa Bay and Chicago. You just want to make that.
That may be where he's going.
Yes.
I may project it way ahead that he would be in Tampa Bay next year. Think about that for a while, boys.
And with 4th down at 11, here is Mike Horan. So Pickens let it skip out of bounds. A 45-yard punt by Horan. And Cincinnati will go back to the offense with 1:16 remaining in this third quarter.
We're just looking at that Buffalo score. If it does hold up here in the third quarter, but if it holds up and Minnesota beats Buffalo and New England beats Indianapolis, we have that game next week. Buffalo's already beat New England once, and that would put it back in a tie and really make that thing a mess again.
What the Patriots are doing, you recall earlier in the year, throwing the ball as often as they did. Air Parcells has become more of a defensive-oriented situation. Fenner getting the call. Patriots with an excellent defensive game last week against the Jets, and apparently able to close down Indianapolis after the Colts got off to the good start. A look at our lineup next week. It's a doubleheader day here on NBC, starting 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And you see the early games: New England, Buffalo, San Diego, and the Jets. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, another significant matchup. Miami playing Indianapolis, Houston, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Arizona next week. 2nd down and 9 at the 32-yard line. Giants with a 10-point lead on the Bengals. Fenner stopped by Dillard.
Well, what Cincinnati obviously is doing is running the clock out in the third quarter because they won't have to run a play here. Then they're going to have the wind at their back, not only if they don't pick up the first down, but for kicking the ball. So they ran 2 plays, and it's almost like wasted plays to me, because I think with this young man scrambling around and throwing the ball, he can do a pretty good job with or without the wind.
And looking to the fourth quarter, they'll pick it up with a 3rd down and 4 at the 37. Giants by 10 after 3. We'll be back after these words from your local station. Back to Giants Stadium on a 38-degree windy day in the New Jersey Meadowlands. Fourth quarter getting underway. Cincinnati a 3rd down and 4 at the 37, and it looked like Blake's pass was tipped once again, intended for Pickens.
That's got to be 4 or 5 tips in this ball game.
As we mentioned, New England in front of Indianapolis. Early fourth quarter, 21-10 the score. Minnesota by 1 over Buffalo. If Buffalo loses, Cleveland, by virtue of that victory yesterday over Dallas, would clinch a wild card, at least a wild card. And the Browns would go back to the playoffs for the first time since 1989. All right, here's Lee Johnson. Waiting the punt, trying to keep it away from Meggett, who is the NFL's leading punt returner. 39-yard punt by Johnson. So the Giants will take over at their 23-yard line.
You know, we were talking so many times, even if the Giants win the last 3 games of the year, it would take a miracle for them to get into the playoffs. The reason being is the NFC, the National Football Conference. Out of the 7 losses, they lost 4 games in the conference, which is one of the first tiebreakers. It's a head-to-head competition, which they would lose. So, I mean, everybody has to lose everything in order for the Giants to get, and they have to win them all. So it's going to be tough.
Well, Dan Reeves said to us the other day, so these days, you know, it's hard to be mathematically eliminated if you're halfway decent. The story with the Giants with a record of 6-7, but somewhat alive, is Hampton running to his left. Picked up short yardage. statement by Reeves, who said, you know, during that 7-game losing streak, he quoted a friend of his, told his players, if it weren't for losing 7 in a row, we'd be undefeated.
You got to look at some optimism anyway, you know.
Yes. It's a 2nd and 6 at the 28-yard line. Fourth quarter is just underway. And the Giants lead by 10. Swing pass handled by Hampton. He had to adjust to make the catch and is bumped out at the 30 by the outside linebacker, Ricardo McDonald.
That ball was tipped. That ball was hit on the outside as it was coming to Hampton. Watch this ball. Going to be hit. Here it comes out. Just tipped, and it goes right behind Hampton. Nice adjustment. Make the catch. Pick up a few yards.
It's a 3rd and 3 for the Giants from their 31-yard line. And now Brown going sideline. A jump ball that is handled by Corey Sawyer. The pass intended for Mike Sherrard. And Sawyer with his 2nd interception of the season. That looked like one of the Jeff Blake to Carl Pickens plays where he just puts it up there and looks for that jump ball effect.
Well, the only problem with this jump ball effect, look at Sawyer, man-to-man on the outside, is that the wind stops the ball. You can't throw a floater into the wind and expect it not to hang up. It did. He intercepted it. Sawyer, Cincinnati's ball.
Bengals first down at the 40-yard line. Later word on running back Steve Broussard. He suffered a concussion and he will not return. The swing for Coughlin. And he's submarine across the 45 by the right corner, Thomas Randolph.
And Randolph is hurt. I mean, he took on Coughlin coming out of that backfield, and he had a direct hit on him. I mean, he's down. He's down. Randolph is down and hurt. I mean, that's tough duty to pick up that back when he's coming straight at you. Because Randolph is not that big.
Yes, 5'9", 176 pounds. Rookie from Kansas State who's played very well. In fact, last week the Browns stayed away from him.
It looks like Coughlin just kneed him in the head. Because Randolph was down. Watch this. Watch his head. Watch the right knee into his head. Right here. He knees him right in the head. But you know how many... Marv, the games we've done, the concussions this year, they've got to do something with the helmet somewhere along the line. Someone's got to develop a helmet that can take that shock, because we've just seen good hits. The turf has caused concussions. Knees to the head have caused concussions.
Well, as you can see, they are checking out Thomas Randolph. We'll be right back.
Domino's people.
Back at Giants Stadium. 2 minutes have gone by in the fourth quarter. The Giants with a 20-10 lead on the Bengals. Jeff Blake 9 of 21, 101 yards, not able to get much done. Dave Brown 12 for 21, 167 yards. The big pass from Brown, the 53-yarder to Sherrard that led to the first Giant touchdown as Rodney Hampton ran it in from a yard out. 52-yard field goal by Deloiso. Blake with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Pickens. This is Fenner. Close to the marker. We're awaiting word on the injury suffered a moment ago by the Giants right corner, Thomas Randolph.
And Marv, while we're here, I want to send our condolences out to Pat Haggerty's family. He was an official for 28 years, the American Football League, the National Football League, who passed away on Friday. Pat Haggerty. You know, we're talking to referees. I mean, he was well liked by everybody, and they were very concerned about, you know, this was a hell of a guy. I'm going to tell you, I've known him for a lot of years. Did a great job.
3rd and 1, and Blake on a keeper. The Giants indicating that they were able to stop him.
They will measure this, and then the Bengals will also go for it. Being down by 10, only 2 wins. They can't help but not go for it if they don't make it.
And they're calling for the yardsticks, and the word on Thomas Randolph is possible concussion, and his return is uncertain.
Make it by the nose of the ball. Can you believe that? It looked like Blake when he took the snap. It looked like he never got an inch. But obviously, when he fell forward, here's Blake, number 8. Watch this. Does he get forward movement? Because he's turned back, and the ball, remember, is in his right hand. But that little continuous effort of his got the ball enough for the first down. I can't believe they have not really thrown the ball to Darnay Scott.
Yes, a very quiet day for Darnay, one of the favorite receivers of Blake, who is looking downfield, looking for Scott, and it is broken up. Penalty flag is thrown. Sparks on the coverage. Well, Darnay Scott, as you were questioning why he has not been a target, was certainly the target right there. Got involved with Sparks. Looks to be interference against the Giants.
Well, here's 2 officials down there. They're talking it over. They're not too sure. Once you make a call, there's another official that has a better look at it. They're calling for pass interference.
There is no foul on the play. There is no foul.
See, when you see those 2 officials talking, Marv, they're thinking, is there a foul or no foul? Look at David Shula. What do I need? What do I need to do? Do I have one? We've got Darnay Scott ISO'd for you. And the Sparks, is there pass interference? Watch it. Here they go. They're both going up for the ball. Oh, he's grabbing his left arm. That is pass interference. You can't grab the guy's left arm. Watch over here on the left-hand side. I think the other replay we had was a lot better when we saw the arm of Sparks. Watch over here. See, wait, here we go. Hold on a second. Keep going. I'm sorry, guys. I'll clear this. See this glove right here? That's his hand grabbing. He grabs his arm and pulls his arm down. That's pass interference. It was an excellent call at the beginning, and the guy that talked him out of it made the bad call.
Darnay Scott, a player with explosive speed, has not come up with a catch today. They have not been looking for him, so the penalty flag's thrown. It's a 2nd and 10 back at midfield.
We need an instant replay back.
The snap, number 64.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Please don't.
It's called on the right tackle, Bruce Kozerski.
Minnesota now up 21-17 over the Bills. That's at home. The Bills have had a tough time this year at home.
Buffalo at 7-6. New England at 7-6 coming into today. Cincinnati's 7th penalty for 82 yards. Giants called 6 times for 53. 2nd and 15, and Blake able to complete to Scott. And it's a first down for the Bengals. Jarvis Williams on the tackle. Darnay Scott, the rookie from San Diego State, with his first catch of the day. That's good for 21 yards.
Quiet all day long, and you're getting double coverage on Pickens on the top side. And here's Darnay Scott. Raymond releases him, and he just gets into the open area. Jarvis Williams is there, but Scott knows where to hook up. They get to that open zone in the middle. First down.
Yes, Darnay has had his ups and downs. What a combination he and Marshall Faulk posed. Teammates of San Diego State. Now Blake again had the pass deflected.
It's got to be 5 or 6 that's been knocked down. I mean, it's unbelievable. When you have a quarterback that is 5'11 and a half, Marv, he has to have throwing lanes. You can't try to force the ball over the middle. He is frustrated when you see him, after he throws the ball. Again, 5 or 6 and being knocked down. Look at him. I mean, you got to have throwing lanes. You can't be trying to throw the ball through guys that are 6'5". It's impossible.
And that's a big front that the Giants present. Here's Fenner finding a hole and is able to spin inside the 30-yard line. Eric Howard on the stop. You look at the Giant front. Hamilton is 6'6", Fox 6'6", Dillard 6'5", Howard 6'4", Strahan 6'4", Rudolph 6'4". That's an NBA front line that Blake is going up against.
Just got a thought for the Giants. Those are Christmas tips. Look at this. Now you look looking at Blake. We're going to see what he looks like. Take a look at it. Here he is. He's looking down. These are all big linemen. You see how he has to put the ball over top? We got a flag on the play. There's a flag.
Tony McGee, the tight end, the intended receiver on the 3rd down and 4, involved with the strong safety, number 26, Jarvis Williams.
You know, it's almost like he has to throw a high trajectory ball and hope it falls down into the hands of the players.
Defense,
this is
number 26.
the biggest drawback to Blake. He can scramble. He's got a terrific arm, but the problem is when he throws, Marv, you watch when he releases this ball. Watch how he has to release it up over the lineman. See this ball? Watch it go up over. See over the top? It's almost like a flip over the top. We'll see it from this angle here, where he goes back. He goes back, and he sees McGee's open. Now he has to throw it up over top. Instead of throwing that straight-ahead motion that most quarterbacks have, he doesn't have it.
Off the interference call, Cincinnati first down at the Jet 14. And Blake throws and is able to complete. Carl Pickens made the catch inside the 5-yard line. Sparks on the stop. That's catch number 5 for 45 yards for Pickens, and it is a first down for the Bengals. 1st and goal down at the 3.
But see, Marv, on that last play, he had a lane to throw the ball to Pickens. So all he did was step up and he could fire the ball straight at Pickens. That's an easy catch for the receiver. The ball gets there quicker and he has a chance to make a catch.
9.5 remaining, 4th quarter. Jump pass thrown by Blake. Touchdown! Carl Pickens with a 2nd touchdown catch of the day. And that's one you don't see too often. A jump pass by Jeff Blake.
Well, when you're 5'11 and a half, I'm not going to give him the extra half. You gave it to him earlier. I'm not. Watch this. He's going to run a play action defender here. That holds the linebackers, and then the ball right over the middle. The completion of Pickens. We're going to take a different look at it. You see Pickens here coming in the middle.
And Pelfrey just did put it through. 3-point lead for the Giants. We'll be right back. Of another small quarterback by the name of Eddie LeBaron. Good-looking drive by the Bengals. 9 plays, 60 yards, 4 minutes, 7 seconds, capped off by the 3-yard touchdown pass to Pickens, and the Bengals are within 3 points. Megan on the return, out to the 20, 25, 30, 35. Nice return by David Meggett. Kevin Jefferson made the stop. 27 yards for Meggett. 9:13 remaining in the 4th quarter. And the Giants with a 20-17 lead on the Bengals. Let's see, Jeff Blake is now 12 for 26, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And they've got to let Dave Brown throw the ball even though they're going into the wind. And I don't care if you want to throw screens or if you want to throw 6-yard patterns, that's okay. But let him throw the ball. Don't let the Cincinnati Bengals just line up on the line of scrimmage and fire in different lanes. You're not going to be able to run it.
Rodney Hampton with a burst for the first down. He went for 13 yards. The free safety, Darrell Williams, made the stop.
You know, how many times have we watched games where you see teams, they get a lead and they sit on a lead? You can't do that. You can't sit on a lead in a National Football League. Now, Rodney Hampton, 70 yards rushing. They get a good running play, and then they just bog down. I'm telling you, they're going to have to throw the ball if they want to score.
First down from midfield. Hampton again gets the call. Picked up a yard, tripped up by Ricardo McDonald. Rodney Hampton, all banged up, playing with a sore back, sore leg, injured ribs, but able to hang in. 2 weeks ago, he ran for 106 yards against the Redskins. Last week against Cleveland, 77 yards. He has been combining in the backfield with Kenyon Rashid. Right now, the lone deep back is Hampton. 2nd down and about 10. And Brown completes. Aaron Pierce with a first down. That's his 2nd catch of the day. He was hit by Vincent.
You got to throw the football, wind or no wind. You can't keep putting this young man in a position where he has to, on 3rd down, throw the ball and pick up the first down. All right, here's Pierce going to the outside. I mean, this pass is a perfectly thrown ball. Really, the ball is there. He just makes a turn. He's in that turn anyway. He's right there. Don't be afraid to throw the football.
Well, the Giants with a first down at the Cincinnati 39-yard line with 7.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Hampton picked up a couple. Alfred Williams, the right defensive end, made the stop. The Giants with 3 straight wins after losing 7 straight. All 3 wins on the road. And if they can win here today, they hit the 500 mark. While the Cincinnati Bengals are just trying to finish the season out with respectability. They felt that was not the case in their defeat last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They felt they were set back. This is Gary Downs getting the call for the first time. Gary Downs, a rookie from North Carolina State, a 3rd-round draft pick, stopped by Keith Rucker. We've called Keith Rucker's name on a number of occasions today. He's a guy who was cut by the Cardinals, you may recall, signed as a free agent, was not a favorite of Buddy Ryan.
I think not very slim in the midsection area. That's one of the reasons why. He said, I'm happy, I'm fine.
Listed at 6'4", 340 pounds. Giants with a 3rd down and 5 at the 34. You doubting that?
I love it when he's actually listed at that.
Little hedge. And Brown throwing a blue intended for Sherrard, covered by Rod Jones.
Here's the situation. We've been talking about it since the beginning of the ball game, and it's not fair to Dave Brown. I really don't think so. They run the ball twice and put him into a situation. There's no field goal range down here because you're at the 435-yard line. He's 52 into the win. But you put him in a situation, Marv, where he has to complete it on 3rd down, and it isn't really fair to a young quarterback.
So the punting unit comes on. Mike Horan for the 6th time. He's at midfield. Sawyer and Pickens are back. It's blocked. The punt blocked and handled by Santos Stevens. Jesse Campbell made the tackle. Santos Stevens came through with a burst to block it.
Marv, I'm telling you, it looked like the Cincinnati Bengals were offside. Watch this play. Now, keep an eye. Take a look at up here, but look at where the ball is. Well, no, the ball was picked up. And I'll tell you, that's fine. The ball was picked up. Just a great block, a great effort.
And on a second look, Paul, Adrian Hardy got a piece of it. He and Stevens coming through, and it looked like Hardy got a hand on it.
Hardy got his arm in there. Just outstanding play by the special teams of the Cincinnati Bengals.
So Cincinnati first down at the Giant 46-yard line. Jeff Cothran stopped by Stacy Dillard. Picked up a yard. It'll be a 2nd down and 9.
Well, I thought that the Cincinnati Bengals were offside, but when the center picks the ball up, now you can move. I mean, as soon as the center makes a move with the ball, you've got the opportunity. Watch this ball. Let's watch the ball. Watch it pick it up. As soon as he picks it, that's up. Now you can move.
2nd and 9 for the Bengals. Stott in motion. And Blake with the completion short of the first down. Darnay Scott, who has certainly come to life in this fourth quarter. That is his 2nd catch. He had one that was a disputed interference call, and the call was waved off.
All right, Darnay Scott goes in motion, just kind of lumbers out, and then he comes underneath, following the tight end underneath Sadowski, and gets the catch. Go to him all day. There's only one guy on him.
3rd down and about a yard and a half away from the first down, and Fenner driving for the marker. We'll have to wait. Check out the spot. Dillard with the tackle on Derek Fenner. Fenner getting the call here in the 2nd half after Broussard suffered what is thought to be a concussion, and he's through for the game.
Maybe a record for measurements in this game. Had enough of. This one is really going to be close.
of 4:39 remaining in the fourth quarter.
That's how close this is.
And it is a Cincinnati first down.
I'm telling you, I'll go back to the Giants starting in the second half. You get ahead. You know, Cincinnati came back, kicked a field goal. They came back and kicked another field goal up by 10 points. And to try to sit on a lead.
Block punt, giving a terrific opportunity for the Bengals. First down at the Giant 36. Blake unleashes and is able to complete it. Blake is heating up, combining again with Scott. Sparks made the tackle, and the Bengals have a first down outside the 20.
Marv, I said one man on Darnay Scott. Watch him, Sparks. He's the only guy covering him. Blake reached the blitz. Look where he is, a yard and a half beyond the first down marker. That ball hits him right in the gut, and Blake had a throwing lane.
Third catch for Scott, all here in the fourth quarter. Second round draft pick from San Diego State. Darnay Scott, first down at the 20. And Blake looking end zone. Blake throwing with no one inside.
You're allowed to throw the ball away as long as you throw it towards the line of scrimmage and out to the outside. Blake did a smart thing right there. Again, you know, we talked in the first half about how good the defensive secondary has been for the Giants. They've done a pretty good job, except with on Scott when you go one-on-one and Blake can read it. Now they have Scott on the sideline.
It's a 2nd and 10 at the 20. Another exciting finish for Jeff Blake, who's 14 of 29, 160 yards. Getting the time now. The bullet pass. Let's see. Pickens battling with Raymond. And it's a question as to who will be awarded the football.
You know, the problem is right now that none of the officials made a commitment to who caught the ball. It was, if it's a simultaneous catch, then it goes to the offense. But not one official said anything, so there's no way that they can give this ball now to the Giants. It has to go to Cincinnati.
Very tough call. We saw this early in the game.
I don't care who comes up with the ball right now. It's got to be Cincinnati's ball. Corey Raymond says, I have the ball. No, it isn't.
And as you say, it is being awarded
to the
Bengals.
You can't. Well, if you don't make the call right now, you cannot make the call when they start wrestling for the ball. Here it comes. Pickens to the inside. Raymond is there. Watch this. Now, who has the ball? It's a simultaneous catch. You got to give it to the offense. The no call was the good call. Here's another look from the other side, from the end zone end, and Pickens has the ball. You can do all the wrestling you want after that.
For Pickens, 7th catch of the day, just shy of a first down. It's a 3rd down and 1 at the 10, and Blake picks up the first down.
Jeff Blake, he's smiling. Of course, he smiles all the time anyway. But he's going to just take the snap and go. This is one of those deals where you get up with the center. I get up there almost like a tap, and then he hurdles because the defensive linemen go down. He just stands straight up and goes for the first down. That's all he wanted.
It is a 1st and goal at the 8. Bengals trailing the Giants by 3. Cothran, big fullback, stopped by the left defensive tackle, Mike Fox, and we're down to 2:25 remaining in this fourth quarter. Cincinnati taking over with about 6 minutes remaining in the fourth on the blocked punt. And it is now a 2nd and goal at the 5.
See, if I were the Giants, I'd take a timeout right now. You know why? Because make them take another play into the 2-minute warning. You have 3 of them. They just let 20 some odd seconds run off the clock that they may need.
Well, when we come back, it'll be the 9th play of the drive. The Giants led 10-0. They led 20-10. It is now 20-17. But Cincinnati driving with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 2nd and goal down at the 5-yard line for Jeff Blake and the Bengals. Scott in motion. And Blake tosses one up. Pickens could not hold on in the battle with the corner, Corey Raymond. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Rich Stadium, double loss for the Bills. They lose to the Vikings, and with a minute and a half to play in the game, they lose quarterback Jim Kelly, hit by Henry Thomas. He suffered an injury to his left knee. We don't know how seriously. We do know the Vikings win at 21-17, and the Bills fall to 7-7, Marv.
Thank you, Greg. Third and goal down at the 5-yard line for Cincinnati. Blake throwing, broken up, intended for Fenner. Looked to be Corey Whitmer who got a piece of it.
Boy, he really did. Corey Whitmer came across and just made a beautiful play from the linebacker spot. They're going to go for the field goal and tie this game up.
And this is a 22-yard attempt by the second-year man from Kentucky, Doug Pelfrey, who missed from 33 and connected from 38, from 22 yards away. Well, Lee Johnson able to handle that high snap, and Doug Pelfrey has tied the game at 20 with 1:47 left in the fourth. Marv Albert, game is tied at 20. Bengals have come from behind. Nice job by this man who's about to kick it off. Lee Johnson handling that high snap, putting it down for Doug Pelfrey. Meggett and Marshall awaiting the kick. 1:47 remaining in regulation in this fourth quarter. A return by Meggett. And Meggett reaching out close to the 35. A good return. He went for 24.
Not only did Lee Johnson make a great save, but watch him turn the ball so that the threads or the laces are right in the front. I mean, that's, you talk about heads up. He gets the ball, then gets the laces right straight ahead, which you have to do, and they tie it. Boy, he liked it. David Shula liked it.
So now let's see what Dave Brown, who pulled off that good final drive last week against the Cleveland Browns, let's see what he can do right here. First down at the 34-yard line. Game tied at 20. And the play is blown dead. Flags are thrown.
Now, Marv, see, when I said before, when there was 2 minutes and 27 seconds, if they'd have taken the timeout,
76.
the Giants would have taken the timeout. They would still be outside of the 2 minutes. They would have 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Now, they have 3 timeouts, but it would have still been the same thing, but then it had about 27 more seconds on the clock that they really need now. Especially after being in motion.
So it is set back to a first down and 15. The Giants just trying to get within field goal range. Keep in mind, Brad Deloiso has tremendous range. Hit from 52 earlier. He kicked a 54-yard field goal last season. Wide open, Aaron Pierce. Bringing to Cincinnati territory, Francis Williams on the tackle. Timeout is taken after that 25-yard hookup. And Pierce with his third reception of the game.
Aaron Pierce down the middle of the field. Look at the middle of the field. Can you stop right here, guys, just for a second? Look at in here. There is absolutely no one in the entire middle of the field. And here's our guy right here. Boom. Look at this. Isn't it nice? Nobody there. Absolutely nobody. I mean, you don't prevent defense when you've stopped them the majority of the day with your regular defense and now go into a prevent mode. That's crazy.
Well, Brad Deloiso just pacing the sideline, thinking about the possibilities. If the Giants can pull it out, they'll go to 7-7, still alive, although slim hopes in terms of the playoffs. If they lose, they would drop to 6-8, which means they would be virtually eliminated. Here's a comforting thought, Paul. Jets and Giants could be virtually eliminated from the playoffs before the Rangers play even their first game of the season. Just a thought.
I know, you had to get it in, too, didn't you?
And a first down at the Cincinnati 47. Again, the flag is thrown. Diving attempt. Chris Callaway says he had it. Covered by Corey Sawyer. But a penalty marker is down.
You know what? Mike Grimm, number 43, the left corner, is offside. The left corner jumps up on Sherrard, I think, and he is offside. Number 43 on the bottom, right here. Watch this. Watch what he does. He's going to jump offside. Here it is. He's up. He's offside. Now they go back to the outside. Is this a catch? Is this a catch? That's a catch. That's a catch. They refuse it by Callaway. I think they need another 20 yards to be safe with this win.
Third catch for Callaway. First down at the Bengal 37. That's time remaining in the fourth quarter. The game is tied at 20. Brown with time. Goes short range and completes. David Megan with another. Giant first down. That's good for 12. Vincent on the tackle. Clock is running.
Dave Brown wants him up on the ball.
Giants first down at the Cincinnati 25 and out. Now Brown is saying let the clock run a bit.
Yeah, Reeves is saying let's let the clock run. Because Brown went up and he wanted to go, and I guess in his ear Reeves said, no, you're not going, just wait. You have plenty of time.
And Brown throwing for the end zone, intended for Sherrard, and a penalty flag is down. Corey Sawyer, the cover man on Mike Sherrard.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. First down.
Interference.
If I see what the official did, if that's true, he said he hit him with his arm and pushed Sherrard off. Now, did Sawyer do that or not? We're going to let you know. Watch his left arm. Watch his left arm. That's where they say push him up. I'm going to tell you what. That is not a very good call, folks. That was outstanding coverage by Sawyer. If there's anything, both of these guys are going at each other. Schuler went crazy. I don't blame you, David. There's no way you can make that call if you can't call on both.
Giants want quiet for this first and goal from the 3-yard line. Hampton, touchdown. The Giants take the lead with 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. With a second touchdown of the game, 23 carries, 78 yards, and the Giants recapture the lead. They're up 26-20.
That was a pretty good hole, Marv. I mean, Rodney Hampton was, you talk about going unimpeded to the goal line. That was excellent blocking up front.
And here's Brad DeLuiso. Kent Graham holding.
The Bengals still have 3 timeouts in 40 seconds. We got the pulling guard that's coming out. That's Lynch Smith. Watch this. The block. Boom. By Rashid. He gets an excellent block. Number 44. Number 84, Aaron Pierce gets an excellent block. Here they come. There's a good block on the outside, good blocks on the inside, touchdown.
And a very impressive drive executed by Dave Brown. 3 for 3 on this drive. And he's had a solid game again. 16 of 26, 222 yards. 1 touchdown, picked off twice. So
that's the only one I did, but only the downhill.
Paul, we're very busy here. 40 seconds remaining. One of the up men, Steve Tovar, picking up that bouncer from DeLuiso, and he's taken down at the 35. Jesse Armstead, who's had another solid afternoon, making the tackle, and the clock is stopped with 32 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Giants with a 27-20 lead on the Bengals.
That was a heads-up play by Tovar, except for one thing. He should have gone right down because he cost them 12 seconds off the clock by running around.
So the Bengals from from their 35-yard line. Swing for Fenner. Beautiful spin move. Getting out to midfield. Went for 15. Cincinnati does have 3 timeouts remaining. And they take a timeout to stop the clock with 22 seconds left.
And Fenner's hurt because Felipe Sparks. Fenner's looking back to his left. And Felipe Sparks goes down and cuts his legs out from underneath him. After Fenner makes this catch, he makes a couple of spin moves. Watch number 22 on your screen here. Felipe Sparks, hero key commit. See Fenner looking back, and then he just cuts his legs out from underneath him. Fenner is, watch, hold it right here, stop for a second after he makes the spin. Go ahead, a little bit further, after the spin. Watch his head. See him looking here? But watch this guy. Boom, touch. I mean, that's down. You're back in a position, 22 seconds, 2 timeouts. You only have 50 yards to go. And Blake's got the arm to get it there.
And he has Darnay Scott out to the right side. Carl Pickens to the left. And Blake completes. He has the tight end McGee, gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Corey Raymond on the coverage. Down to 16 seconds remaining, and the ball is spotted just outside the 35-yard line.
Fenner comes out. He's limping. He got hurt on that last play. He stayed in one more play to block, but they put Eric Ball, number 42, in there. And this is a nice drive. You know, you see him, Blake, not trying to get greedy. He's got 16 seconds. He has 2 timeouts. He has plenty of time. They can run 4 or 5 plays here.
Now Blake stepping up and goes to the middle of the field, and it was dropped by Scott. We're down to 11 seconds remaining.
That took 5 seconds off the clock because of the good pass rush, and that's what the Giants' 4-down guys are trying to do. Get some heat on Blake, so he has to take some time off by stepping up. And also they're putting their safeties down by the goal line, so if the pass is completed in the middle of the field, there's just no place to go.
Second down play, second and 10 for 35. 11 seconds to go. Blake stepping up and throwing for the end zone for Pickens, and it's broken up. He went deep into the end zone. John Booty involved on the coverage of Carl Pickens. Thomas Randolph also there.
Well, this was the throw to make. Look at here. You got the 2 guys. Booty down there is the guy knocking the ball away. But Pickens almost caught the ball. But if he would have, he would have been out of the end zone anyway, so it wouldn't have made any difference. They have time, 3 seconds, 1 more play, and it's a...
The Giants with a 7-point lead, and it has come down to this play with 3 seconds remaining. While we have the opportunity with a timeout call.
It is important to get 1,000 yards. Every rusher wants at least 1,000 yards a year. But every one of these guys would give up any kind of record, any kind of achievement in order to get into the playoffs. Because once you're in there, anything can happen.
Looking ahead next week, the Giants play at Philadelphia. They close at home against Dallas. Cowboys will be playing with only 5 days rest after a Monday night road game. All right, here's Blake, final seconds. Blake looking to unleash, setting up a prayer. This a true jump ball, and it is broken up. Jarvis Williams able to break it up. The pass intended for Darnay Scott, and the Giants have come up with their 4th straight win. And although still slim hopes, as we touched on earlier, still alive in terms of a playoff berth. Giants by 7. We'll be back in a moment. 27-20 to make it 4 straight wins and a record of 7-7, still alive in the playoff hunt. The Bengals dropped to 2-12. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire, so long from Giants Stadium.